Welcome, everybody, to 10 Minutes with Barb and Ron. And I'm Ron Rogers from OCALI.
And I'm Barb Gentili Green. And you know what? It's super exciting. This is our 50th episode. So we have a really special guest, Ron.
Oh, I can't wait to introduce this guest. I'll tell you, I've just been so ecstatic about having this person on here with us. This is Lindsay Jones, the new CEO of CAST. CAST, the originators of Universal Design for Learning. And she's going to be with us for 10 minutes. And we are so excited.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Lindsay, you know, Barb and I, and mostly Barb, has been working on some questions for you, that we think the viewers would really like. And one of the first question that we thought out of the box might be, what drew you to CAST? What made you, want a job as a CEO of CAST? Because you had an outstanding job before, which, you can feel free to talk about too.
Yeah, I was with the National Center for Learning Disabilities for 8 years before I joined CAST and really was leading their policy work. And then, of course, I was the CEO leading all of their work. But I've been really dedicated through my whole career to education and to understanding and thinking through why systems are set up the way they are and how we could make them better. So I started as an attorney, working directly with public schools on all sorts of education matters, and really started seeing lots of the same patterns in that job of the cases, the individual cases. So many similar things in IEP meetings around accommodations and around FAPE, just all of this just lots of similar issues. And it made me feel really drawn to work at a systems level. So I went and worked at the Council for Exceptional Children, which was amazing, and gave me that real sort of bird's eye view of where and how education was working and not working across the country. I then went to the National Center for Learning Disabilities and kind of focused a little bit differently on a different audience. And having done that for many years, when I worked with CAST through both of those jobs. So I was already really familiar with Universal Design for Learning and what CAST was doing and the innovation. And I think because of my real interest in systems level, in changing things at a systems level, I just thought the job at CAST would be incredible to be working directly with educators, really trying to figure out what are those barriers that we don't see to make the education delivery so much better for everybody. And so I just feel CAST is such a place. It's an engine of innovation. It has an incredible legacy. And I think it's got a really important future, as I think all who work in UDL. I think UDL is the future. I think it's one of the ways that we can actually make a change to the system to open up learning for everybody. So that's why I'm really excited to be here.
Your passion is just palpable. It really is. I love that, the engine of innovation, because CAST is always the agency that we all look for too, to keep us up to speed on what's happening out there with UDL and how we can keep improving our system. So, and, Lindsay, I'm drawn to your history because I too have had a long history in special education, and I have seen many barriers also. So that kind of leads us into the next question about, you've spent a lot of years really advocating for learners with disabilities. And I'm curious about some of those common barriers and how you think UDL can minimize them.
Yeah. It's such a great question. And I think about it all the time. So that's why I'm really excited to answer. But I don't know that we have exactly the answer. But what I think there's a huge barrier initially, and it's stigma. It's a mindset barrier. It is, I think, in large part because most of our teacher colleges separate special education from general education. And I think that sets you on a path, unknowingly, unwittingly, but a path that causes more barriers than it eliminates. So, and there's a mindset of stigma. These kids will never be as much. They will never learn as much. when we don't actually know that, right? Like that's an assumption, and it's reinforced by some barriers in the system. One that I just mentioned, the separation of those two two types of learning, which really just, I don't think should be there. And I think universal design for learning is so important because of the way it helps a teacher think really flexibly about the needs in their room. I think I think there's a mindset and a stigma barrier, and it's hard to measure, but it's there. I just believe it's there. And I think it's reproduced by the environment that teachers have as well, which is overwhelming. There's 30 kids in a class. They have multiple needs. So I think it's a natural human instinct to want to sort and prioritize. These will go here. These will go here. They will get this type of learning. But the problem there is that it's like a Band-Aid. It's like an accommodation and not really changing the system to make it flexible. So I think that what I really appreciate about universal design for learning is that you can look at tools to use in the classroom, but you can look at a system. And it helps, I think, educators think more flexibly about the daunting task that is ahead of them as they look at 30 minds and have to try to determine how to reach all of them in an efficient and useful way. And I think one of the best pieces of evidence that we need more evidence about student outcomes and UDL. We need more evidence about pool systems and how they work, for sure. And I definitely think we need to get there. And we're working hard at CAST right now to try to figure out how to measure and how to get some better information about that. But what we do know is that in the places where our professional learning team had been working with educators prior to the pandemic for over a year, when the pandemic hit, all of those educators reported having a mindset of being able to tackle these barriers and moving much more quickly than we saw some other systems able to do. And that to me is really promising, because the pandemic is certainly the largest barrier in education we've hit, but we're going to hit many more things like this, and just what it can tell us about how and what teachers need in schools to be able to be the sort of the artists that they are, right? Like the artists, they have to draw on so many different things and be really flexible. And I think that's why the job can be really fun. And I think it's why it can be really scary and overwhelming also. So I think UDL is a way to move that forward for them, to support them, and ultimately kids.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, Ron and I have talked about on this on our show multiple times about how UDL can give us some actions that we can take that then actually begin to shift the mindset. Like as they see kids be successful because of something they did as the teacher to make it more accessible to them, they begin to shift that stigma, I think, in that mindset a little bit. So that is what I am, that's why I'm such a strong believer in it. So.
Well, without a doubt, I mean, we can see your passion. And Lindsay, as you speak, I just kept having chills up and down my spine. And I'm looking at my arm, which I got short sleeves on finally, and I got goosebumps because your passion's our passion. And it's just every word you said, I'm just kind of hanging on. And the audience, when they watch this, they're just going to be hanging on every word that you said. And you're just so incredible. We have 2 minutes left. So, Lindsay, is there anything that you would like to say to our audience as they're watching this before we let go?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm so excited to learn. I'm so excited to learn from everyone. I want to just say to people, please engage with CAST. Please keep engaging with CAST. I think this is truly something where we will always be only as good as the willingness of the community, right, to help each other and work together. And so that's why I think this is such I'm so happy to be on your podcast. I want to be talking to everybody. And I think it's so inspiring to be I feel very grateful to be able to do this work. It's really inspiring to be able to be with great people, thinking about how do we make things better? How do we improve this? And I believe that we will. We have a lot of people power. And so I just want to say to anybody watching, please engage with CAST. Let us know. Let's keep working together.
I don't think out of the thousands of presentations, Barb, that we've all done in Ohio, I can't think of one that we haven't had cast as, as the big piece, because, you have all the goodies.
Yes. And I can certainly see that it's going to get even stronger with you in the lead. And I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to spend 10 minutes with us. And with that, Barb is out.
Yes, thank you so much, Lindsay. Our viewers are just going to love this one. They're just going to love it, and they're just going to eat it up. So with that said, thanks again, Lindsay, and Ron's out.
I guess I'll say thank you to both of you. And I guess I'm out.
YouTube, please subscribe. Like, comment, and share.